So there I was, finishing this little beauty for a show, and it fractured down the matrix. It's done. It's gorgeous. It looks good. But you can see there, broken. Not a happy time. Little sunrise. Broken. So I guess, I have a little bit of downtime. I'm going to talk about getting ready for gem shows, getting ready for trade shows. When I first started out making jewelry, whether it was gold or silver, I actually started with brass, and I never had anyone teach me quite what it's like for the starting of the actual business side, getting to shows, selling your product. I always had people who instead just talked about making stuff. That's all they cared about was the making. The making. Well, there's a lot of making here. It's a lot of fun. I really thoroughly enjoy it. But what about the show aspect? What about the selling? Well, let me take you over really fast. So I have a show coming up in November. It's the Southern Utah Rock and Gem Show. And I, as of June 7th today, this is all I have. This, some cut gems, and that. It is not a lot. It is not even close to enough. So, what I need to do to get ready for this show, and what you would do in this case, or at least along the lines, is first off, fill all of these with product. Fill all of them with what I need for the show. You've got these guys, stand up, little cushy guys like this here, it's got some cute little stuff in it. You've got your ring cases. These ones have a glass top. I prefer the glass. Acrylic scratches and looks really poor, really easy. You've got faceted jewelry. Here, let me turn on a light here. There we go. You've got faceted gems. And I go in all kinds of directions, like these are literally all I have left of sapphires are these 5 little guys right here. That's all I have left of my sapphires. And then I've got like garnets and amethyst and smoky quartz and citrine and stuff. And I've got to get from this point, what I have left and what I'm starting to refill, to full cases. Full. Full. All of this full. All of these guys full. Pottery to fill in the gaps. All of it. The works. Everything. So what I'm going to do is not just fill up everything, but I also need, and this is something that is kind of important, you want to have a variety, right? So like I've got plenty of the turquoise, that's a staple with silver, right? I'm going to do plenty of faceted gems. I got 14 karat and 18 karat gold for some of the sapphires and emeralds that I've acquired and rubies. You know, I've got some simple, fun stuff, little stackable rings with just cute designs, you know, stuff that people enjoy. But basically, I want to have a variety of items ranging from very affordable and a lot of it to showstopper pieces, and they might not sell this show or next show, but they'll sell eventually, and they're extremely fanciful, extremely nice. And so to do that, you know, I'll get cases with necklaces of varying. Right now, this is just the storage, right? I just fill it up, and then as it starts to overflow these cases, that's when I'm going to open up more and actually have specific cases with specific levels of price and quality. And then with the show itself, you're going to want to have displays. I can show you some of my display setups later down the road as it gets closer. I like to make a lot of my own stuff. One, because it's a creative outlet and I blacksmith and woodwork and stuff. But two, because often when you're buying stuff, like the velvety, black velvet is nice, it looks nice, it feels nice, but like, let's be real. You buy a bracelet holder and it's kind of flimsy. It feels like it's made of cardboard and black velvet, you know. You buy this ring case and it looks okay, it has the glass, it's a little better than most. But like a lot of these are really not the greatest cases, not the greatest displays, you know. These all look the same in here. It's just a color and silver. But when they are properly displayed, you can see like this is an aquamarine and they're extremely beautiful pieces. They're literal works of art that you can wear. They're an heirloom piece of jewelry is the way I would put it. You know, you've got this guy. This is a fire agate, right? And they're super fun to make, super high quality stuff. People love them. But if they're all just tucked away in a case, when people walk past, they're going to see case full of colors, case full of colors, case full of colors. It's not as likely that they're going to go, wow, look at that one. It's just not. So to capture that, to get those people, you fill your cases, you get all your stuff you need, you display it out properly and comfortably, and you display it in a way where maybe you pull some things out of cases and you put them on ring holders that are uplifted. You know, you want to add that dimension and height. You want to add space. You want to use your whole space. If you're paying for a space, you don't want to use just the flat table. You want to use the whole space. All right? And not only that, but if I take, let's pretend for a second this was full, I would take some of these out to display. I would have some up right here, maybe over the top have things, maybe have, like, if I could make driftwood hanging like hands or something that are wearing rings. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But if I have stuff around, it also allows you to add some distance. And you're not filling in the gaps per se by doing this. But by adding that distance, it gives the eye, like with this spot, it gives the eye more time to see a favorite. Where when it's all crowded, like how this guy is here, right? All of that's crowded. This is not how I'm going to display it at the show. I can have the extras be in here, but the favorites, the nice stuff, is going to be displayed. It's going to get its own little space to shine. Because if it's all coming out of here, then you're just going to sweep over and go, there's color, there's color, there's color, oh, bye. And that's all that's going to happen. So what I can tell you is when you do shows, if it's a little market, like you want, it's great to start at little markets, little shows. go for it. You know, I personally like doing larger shows, and I like doing a website, right? That's the big ways that I do it. That's where my main points of sale are. And website equals a lot of photography, shows equal a lot of display. So plan your display around your type of show. If I was going to a little market, I would keep all of it in these little cases and maybe only pull out a couple of my favorites per show and try to keep my stuff clean and concise. At a big show, you want to take the extra time to really let this stuff spread and fill in all the gaps. Be just as beautiful as it can be. Take up the space it deserves. And just, you want someone to be walking on past and go, wow, I have to have that. You do not want someone to just go, oh yeah, that looks like jewelry, next thing. Oh yeah, that looks like pottery, next thing, and walk on away. Because that's what happens when you start, especially when you've gone to shows for the first couple times and you don't know how to display, you don't know how to get that right feng shui to delicately add your pieces what they need. You're gonna run into times where you're like, people sit here and compliment me all day, but they just walk past. No one's sitting to sit still and go, I like this. Because the longer someone spends at your booth, if they're trying on 10 rings, there's a much higher chance they're going to buy one. If they want to try on this necklace or that necklace, that's 1,000 times better than if they go, oh, cool, necklaces, and walk away. And if they're all in a line like this, that's good enough for storage. That's good enough for transportation. But if they're just in a line, in a case, put away, no one's going to touch it. No one's going to wear it. No one's going to buy it. And like I said here, this is enough to go to a little festival. Going to a gem show, and the Southern Utah Rock and Gem Show, it's an enjoyable show. I like going there, so I go there every year. It is not a very large show. There are much larger shows in Vegas, Salt Lake, California, around. Especially if you're going to the big ones like Tucson and stuff, but those are different, that's a whole different beast. Anyway, these smaller to mid-size shows, filling out your cases with product, getting proper display, and giving your pieces the space that they need to thrive. For people to notice, for people to feel like they're allowed to gush over it and love on it and pick it up and try it on and go, oh, hey, I didn't realize this had a mountain range on it. Because if they walk past and they just look at the top, they would never know. So yeah, I hope this helps some people. I've been very busy. I don't always have time for making these videos. I will definitely make more as I can, but some days, I have to ask myself, do I want to make a video, or do I want to spend the time it takes to make a video to make more product for the shows I have coming up? Because fall is my busy season. I enjoy going to shows in the fall and in the winter, and so this is what I'm doing in the summer, getting ready. I hope this helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.